I am here today because they needed somebody who was alive. I made it, right? Sister Francesca, thank you for welcoming a sinner such as I here. I am truly grateful and humble, believe me, I really am, to be in the Northeast Philadelphia Hall of Fame. I am still connected to Northeast Philadelphia. I still have the home on the distant track where I grew up and moved into that home in 1950, and my son Trevor has just moved into that home. So that's third generation here in Northeast Philadelphia. So I just want to take, I'm not going to speak for long, but I would like to mention three of the inciting influences that that led me here today. But first, let me thank Tony Radwanski, Kathy Radwanski, Nancy Morrison for nominating me, and Jack for putting together all this work, and our elected officials for taking a big part of their Sunday while the Eagles game was on to come do this. So three inciting influences that led me here today. First, my parents, okay? Both of them born in Kensington. So moving up to, it was like moving up to Tacony was great, for them coming from Kensington, having a semi-detached house with a little backyard. That was pretty cool. My mother really drilled into me, you can do anything you want in life as long as you really apply yourself. That's how I was raised. I really was blessed to be raised and to be given confidence by my parents. So many others, classmates I know from Lincoln and distant parents were putting them down and beating them up. I was blessed. My father set an example of strength, and one of his great mottos was, and I've lived by this, your health is your wealth, right? So my father literally set the example of strength, health, and hard work. On that note, on the note of hard work, I think the second inciting influence that led me here is literally growing up in Northeast Philadelphia itself. Northeast Philadelphia, the area, the milieu where I grew up, a hardworking, middle-class, blue-collar family with, classmates whose father was a milkman or worked at the gas station or made equipment at the foundry or something like that. And I've always liked to say, and I've told a lot of people this, and I don't really know if they get it, but if you're from a certain kind of neighborhood in this town, in Philadelphia, you learn to hustle to make a living. I don't mean hustle and shake people down. I mean to hustle and move around. My first job was when I was 11 years old as a stock boy at the corner store. I worked at the food fair. I delivered mail. In college, I washed dishes. I did whatever it took to make money. And I've never been afraid of hard work. And that comes from where I grew up. That comes from Northeast Philadelphia. That comes from, for example, one time in my life, I had 9 7-day weeks on camera, plus producing the shows and stuff like that. So actually, the ability to work hard, I think, is in my bloodstream from being in Northeast Philadelphia. And last of these inciting influences certainly is my education. Let's begin at Distant Elementary School, where in 5th grade, we were required to get up in front of the class and talk for about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes to the students. Public speaking was part of our elementary school curriculum. And for whatever reason, for whatever tiny gift that I had, I was good at it. And I learned that at Distant Elementary School. We also had shop there. I was not good at that. I learned what I was good at. Had I pursued a career in carpentry, houses all over Northeast Philadelphia would be crumbling. Fortunately, then I went on to Lincoln High School. And here is where I have to say was the most seminal influence of all. At Lincoln High School, the class of January '59, what I was able to achieve at Lincoln, the success I achieved at Lincoln as president of the Student Association, vice president, treasurer, commentator of the gold team, in the drama club, on the football team, although third string, on the track team, always faster guys. But what I achieved at Lincoln, I remember as a president of the Student Association, when I handed over the gavel, and I don't say this often, it sounds egotistical, but it happened. The students at Lincoln, 1,200 in the auditorium, gave me a standing ovation. The teachers later said they never saw anything like that. I was an extremely successful student, and Lincoln High School offered me the opportunity to be successful. And I remember standing on the stage that day, saying to myself, if I can just replicate this in my professional life, if I can just carry forward. And as one of my teachers wrote in my yearbook, you know how they always write something by your picture, continue as you have begun. So I really, as I accept this, and here's my January '59 ring, right? As I accept this, I really accept this on behalf of Lincoln High School. I accept this on behalf of my other class of January '59 classmates, one of whom was a spy in the Soviet Union by the time he was 22 years old, others who've been captains of industry, others who've just had tremendous careers as teachers, others who've had big careers in show business, right? Others who've been wonderful parents. So I accept my entry into the Northeast Philadelphia Hall of Fame as a member of the class of January 1959 from Lincoln High School. Thank you very much.